smile. No one likes seeing a resting biatch. Oh, hi. Anyway, I have to remind myself every so often to actually smile so that I don't keep showing you resting biatch face. Anyway, so, like usual, I haven't the foggiest idea what I'm doing first, or what I'm doing at all. All I know is it's cold, go bold. Alright, the sweater is not exactly bold. It's kind of a reddish brown. And I got it in my favorite thrift, so there you go. I do that so often, and it's like not bothering me. I've got my moisturizer and sunscreen and all of that. Not going anywhere, but gotta do the process. I'm going to attempt to put my eyebrows on. We know I'm not great at it. Oh. Tried to do this so it can be seen. This is a Browsessive from Wet n Wild. I was trying to find something that was a good, reasonable brown for what's left of my eyebrows. Left. And oh yeah, I keep forgetting. I've got a teeny little scar right there. And when I go to start drawing, I end up with a break right there. It's not as cute as some. Some people have little scars here and there, and they actually work out for them. And for some of the rest of us, it's just a divot. Okay. Put that back on. Put this back on. Call it done. Done. All right. Now. Let's put some primer on this mug. It's another Wet n Wild. It's the Clingy. Squart. Now, since it's cold weather, I don't really need much primer beyond around my forehead, which, believe it or not, if I get warm enough, it'll get oily. So, plus, yes, I'm still snuffly, so there you go. I will try to avoid offending anyone with the snuffles. Anyway, since it's chilly, it's winter weather, and it's Okay, we have to trust the process. We know that regardless of the weather. But it is cold. And my fingers are cold. And my hands are cold. And some of the makeup is gonna be cold. It's like I dampened a sponge with some warm water and it's cold now. And it wasn't that long ago. Now, for anybody wondering about sponges, this is one of the AOA Studio Paw Paw sponges. Dry, wet. Not bad. And they're cheap as chips. Go on to Shop Miss A and have a look. You can get a bag of them for like $10. Just saying. Anyway, I believe I'm going to do my burp, CoverGirl Outlast. And it's supposed to be an extreme wear 3-in-1 foundation. Full coverage, SPF 18, Anyway, I usually only wear the full coverage foundations in the cold weather. Yes, we're a little bit chillier than we prefer here, and that's mainly because of reasons. If you know, you know. And sometimes you just gotta make do. Excuse me. Sorry about that, Chief. Anyway, I'm hoping that the kerfuffle is resolved sooner than later. You know, I'd really like to use my furnace, even though I really hate oil furnaces. It is what it is. Ew, I got a lump in it because I haven't used it in a while, and I ended up with a lump coming out first. Yuck. Now, I cannot remember. Okay, it's 802 Golden Ivory. And like I was showing, it runs pretty quick. So it's not like it's thick and goopy. And this is probably a little more than I actually need, but I'm trying to account for the lump that I'm going to pick up with the brush and put over here. Tap, 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 tap. I don't know why I bothered to wet that sponge, because I went directly in with the brush, and I'm going, so much for that experiment. Force of habit. Force of habit. Yeah, if you hear any unusual sounds or little kind of noises, that's my husband on his game. Well, actually, it's our game. Both of us like World of Warcraft. For the Horde! And I also forgot to defur my chin and my upper lip. So we're kind of stuck with that bit too, because I'd already gotten started with this before I spotted the fact that I forgot to go do what I was going to go do. And yes, I've got a few little blemishes, and I've got the usual creases in the face from the CPAP, and the creases in the hair for the same reason. And yes, it's growing back out currently. Take it down the neck a bit, and it's like, you see the neck? At this time of year, this is a pretty good match. We've already watched me do my eyebrows. And I'm going to stop putzing with this. Leave it alone. It's already mostly dried down, so. Which is a lovely thought. Try to get some of it off the back of my hand. And we are going to go from this stage into the makeup. I went and got one that I haven't used in quite a while. It's the, I need to dust this thing out a little bit. It's the Cara Beauty Sunset Rush, and looks like this. Get the brush out of the way. Now, what I'm seeing on the camera is showing a lot of purple, and it's got some purple, but there's a whole lot of red in here too. Burgundies and such, and pinks, and slightly pink creams and such like. I'll see if I can manage to get the colors corrected in edit. It's the only color correction I do, guys. And pretty much the only change in the picture, except for I use the edit program to do the zoom in and the zoom out and all of that stuff. Gotta wash that brush now. Anyway, I've got my Wet n Wild Pro Primer in white, because I want a light base so I can like pile up the color. I want it to be light, especially on the inner part of the eye. Got some sleep last night, so the eyes aren't too puffy and baggy. Besides, it's going in on 2 o'clock. And I've been up since, I was a little late getting up, but I've been awake and semi-moving around since 8, and laid back down for a minute, which meant back to the nap, and finally got out of bed about 11:30 and acquired my coffee. Must have the coffee. I even have an alarm on my phone that's voiced in the manner of Foamy the Squirrel, if you've ever heard of or listened to that obnoxious squirrel. And at noon, the squirrel reminds me to get up for coffee. He gradually gets louder and louder, just going, coffee, 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 coffee. And like I said, if you know that tone of voice and the way it sounds, it is obnoxious until you get up and turn it off. And once I get up to that alarm, I'm pretty much up for the day unless I'm not feeling good. Alrighty. Okay. Not too bad on the droop unless I do this. I'll avoid it. Let us remember I am 67 as of a little earlier this year. Do not fuss at me about droopy eyes. Okay. Back again in a minute. Again, apologies. Okay, alright, I didn't ruin too much. Slap it back on just a little bit. That's the part I hate the most. You're trying to put it on and then you have to go take some off. Not on purpose, but it's a consequence. Now, let's see where I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start here. And don't ask me the names of the colors. They're on the back side of the palette, and I'm not flipping it back and forth. But I figure this one's a pretty good place to start. Get some stuff in the crease and start going from there. Yes, I started on my dominant side again because that is the way of things. Now I have to remember which one there. That's the one I got into. Yes. We'll find out in a minute. Picked up a bit more than I did originally, but that's easy enough to fix at this stage. I think I may have picked up a completely different one, which is a silly thing to do. However, put a little bit of the one next to it on this side and see if we can't blend it out a little bit so it's a little closer to the mix on this side. Take a little bit of this paler shade, all the way around paler, and kind of work over the edges a little, because sharp edges are just not pretty unless you're intending to do sharp edges. Traditional sharp edges are a whole different matter. Okay, not too bad. And let's see where we go from here. This is one of the more burgundy shades, kind of a deep wine. According to ThredUp, which is an online thrift, the color of the season is in fact burgundy. And I'm just happy I already have winter weight closed-toed shoes in burgundy already. Had them for going on pretty close to 3 years now. And I'm going, I don't care what the color of the season or year is. They're my shoes. I'm gonna wear them. And it's a pair of shoes I actually purchased on purpose because I needed something that would fit my over-wide, at the time, diabetic feet, because my diabetic feet were arguing with my other shoes. And it was causing me a great deal of trouble. And I ended up with surgery because of it. So, yeah, I got some whiter shoes. Anyway, yes, we're gonna do it again. Be right back. The worst part with this mess is it wasn't doing it until I sat down to do this. It was being okay. It was being reasonable. And then it stopped being reasonable. I don't know why I'm burping. I haven't actually consumed anything but coffee yet this morning, afternoon, early in the day. Maybe it's the coffee, maybe it's all the meds. Don't know, not worried about it. Yes, I raise my eyebrow so I can see what I'm doing and where it's laying, and to make sure I avoid getting tiger stripes from all the crepey skin. Tiger stripes, unless you're doing it on purpose, yet again, unless you're doing it on purpose, tiger stripes are not necessarily attractive. Alright, that's starting to look mostly okay. I'm going to get this one again and do a little bit here. Kind of keep all the edges where they belong. Yes, I blooped, so I'm going to kind of push this up here a little bit. Get the bloops all together. Okay, now, am I going to keep doing mats all the way across, or am I going to put some sparkle in that corner? Let's see. Got that one. I don't really have a really pale sparkle. And I'm looking at these two. I might put a little bit of the gold down and then finish up with that creamy white. Also got creamy peach, which, depending on how the gold looks, we'll see. And I had to look for it so hard, I'm going to use it. It's the NYX glitter glue. And yes, I shake everything up lately. There have been a few of the things that I have that have been like, give it the side eye, because stuff comes out in a way that I'm not happy with. Some of the stuff, if it's been sitting long enough, comes out with a little bit of oil or carrier or whatever, instead of doing the nice thick product. Yes, I'm still breaking up on my sentences. Life's and then yeah. Do 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 do. There we go. Do, 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 do. That's a pretty gold. Now, let me get my purple and kind of smear it around so that it's got its own place in space. And I'm going to put a little of it back here just because. Or I'm not bothering with the glitter glue over here because I just don't want to. Put some of it over there just for the heck of it. Got a little rag over here, I'm taking excess off. Now I've got a glitter that's very close to the shade in the center that I may run a little bit more over in here. To kind of brighten this bit up. Why am I doing it? Why do I do anything? Mainly because there's a color theory to makeup, but there are no rules, and I'm not about rules anyway. I just am not. Okay, let's put a little of this right there. Yes, I know it's a very big brush for trying to do the lower lash line, but it's already got the pigment on it, so there you go. If you hold your brush just right and put the tongue in the correct corner of your mouth, you can get it done. I'm not going to run over and grab the other one. Yes, I have 2 alarms that go off on a semi-regular basis for different things. Alright, we now have the sound of silence. Do. Just dropped a brush on the floor. How rude. Do a little finish up here so it looks like I bothered. I mean, every so often you do have to clean stuff up a little bit, just because. Okay, I believe I'm going to go into that creamy white, and I will put that in here, and see if it shows enough to make it worth the trouble. Not the best payoff I've ever seen, but it does lighten that corner a bit. May try something else once I get relatively finished with this. But, like I said, it does brighten up that corner. There is neither a really pale gold or a really pale shimmer of any make, model, or description. Whee! Yes, I know, I'm kind of back to resting biatch face because, let's be real, If you try to smile the whole time you're trying to put the makeup on, you're going to have a mess because your eyes are going to wrinkle and crinkle and all that stuff. You know, and you don't need that. You really don't need that. Alrighty. That's looking relatively okay. I believe I got more of the gold on this side than I did on the other. Let me see if I can do something about that. Or no, that's not the one I threw on the floor. Okay. There it is. Kind of even this up just a little bit. Oh yes, there we go. Tinker on one side, tinker on the other side, keep going back and forth until it drives you nuts. Because as soon as you touch one side, the other side looks different. And it's a pain in the butt. Both cheeks. Do. Alright. We'll leave that be for a minute. And I'm going to take some of my Mega Last Wet n Wild Incognito concealer and go over this little evil got these blood vessels that sit right at the surface, which I think is very rude. I'm going to put a little extra out here to kind of do a cleanup. And we will hope that my laptop holds out just a little bit longer, because it's telling me I'm on low disk space. I should have moved some of the other videos off to the big computer, and I haven't done it yet. Silly me. Okay, now, while that pretends to set itself up some, got a divot right there. Okay, that's a little better. Anyway. Get a little more shape there, or at least try. Alrighty. Yeah, this is the spot where I've got that little divot in my head because my darling sister decided I needed a rock in the head. We were both very young. Very young. So, I'm not going to hold it against her. Not that she terribly much give a rat's butt anyway. And let's see. I believe it's time to get some blush out. Going to get my singe out, and this is in Riveting Rhubarb. Doo-doo-doo. I absolutely adore the singe formulation, and no, I am not going to put any bronzer on. I don't go out in the sun. So, who do I think I'm fooling? My face is kind of pasty white, no matter what I do. So, I'll leave it to the blush to kind of warm it up a little bit. And yes, I start up there. That's because I do. Nobody says you have to. However, that's what I do. Or as one of my favorite creators on YouTube says, when he's talking about a particular critter, he does nature stuff. And he will say that that's how whatever do. Fill in the whatever with whatever critter you want to. He does lots and lots and lots. Ze Frank, Z-E Frank, all scrummed together. If you like critters and like to hear somebody give you critter facts with he tongue in he cheek, but verifiable facts, there's two variants of his work. One is the one that is clearly for adults, and then there's one that's called True Facts Educational, which is child safe. Okay, got that part. Now we do a little bit of this, just because I almost don't need any highlighter on here, because the blush is got a quiet radiance that just it glows just a little. But I like shiny things. And this is a Go Bold. Yes, I highlight the whole eyebrow, because I'm hoping somebody will then see it. Do. Shimmer marks the spot. Alrighty. Let's see. Next step in the Go Bold. quite. But what more of a burgundy? And yes, I have some. Not the black. I want the burgundy. It's like I can't keep them all out on top all the time. Just ask my husband, he tells me so. Ooh. Let's see if anything's in here. Nope. I'll figure it out. I'll find something that works. Haha. This is one of those interesting little pretties. I don't remember which. Yeah, you have to push the button and it pops out. Now, this is an interesting lipstick in that depending on which of the angles or sides you use, you get a different color. So, we will see how this works. I think I want a much deeper color for the lip liner. This is an AOA. That's what it says the color is. I don't know if there's actually a color name on it. Night Out. They have wooden pencil ones. They have these fancy roll-up ones. They're a little stiff until they start to warm up. However, they are waxy enough to keep the lipstick from bleeding into the little creases that go around your mouth, at least for most of the wear time. None of them work permanently. And this bloop over here is not the fault of the makeup. Shaky hands. It's something that the doctors call essential tremors. It's just like started not so long ago, and it's a pain in the butt. Because the more fine an attempt I make to make tiny little details, the worse it is. A little dry spot there. I put my moisturizer on, but yeah, a little dry spot. Kind of clinging on. Alrighty. I think I may run away for a second and do my eyeliners and stuff, because you don't need to see me sit here and shake trying to put eyeliner on. Be right back. Okay. We have mascara. We have liner. And this is it. What do you think? There you go. Old woman, bold look. Ta-da! Anyway, yes, I'm going to raise my eyebrows again. Makes it easier to see without all the glump. See, there's glump. This is why resting biatch face is not attractive. Tell me what you think. Yeah, I know it's been forever since I've been on, but it's how it is. There. And no, I didn't put any jewelry on. I will probably hit it with the setting spray once I'm off. There you go. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends and family. Try not to worry too much. Don't watch the news too much. Stay safe. Keep your hopes up. I know that's easier to say than to do, but I will try to do the same. Bye.